But I think we could do them. I really think we can do them, and I'm expecting us to as well.
Wait for the noise. It's coming. Eric, it is coming.
What's really good, people? Welcome back to Wonderball. It's your boy Moses, and I'm back with another video. And this time we're going to be talking about the Manchester derby this weekend. Massive Manchester derby with really big implications. Manchester United are in resurgent form. I haven't seen us play this well since... I can't remember. And people are going to say, look, flat track bullies, we're beating the teams that are that lower down in the table. Teams like Liverpool, Chelsea are dropping points to these sorts of teams as well. So these aren't guaranteed wins. These aren't guaranteed 3 points. And this is the Premier League. You got to turn up and win these games. Man United in resurgent form, picking up results. I think that's 9 on the bounce at Old Trafford. Marcus Rashford scored his 15th goal of the season.
Marcus Rashford in incredible form. The guy just doesn't stop scoring. You expect a goal now. That's how good he's got. You expect him to score every match. Not to say we're going to see him continue that form into the Manchester derby, but he's fit, he's firing, he's confident, he looks happy, and not just that, but he's making other players around him play better as well. So. Marcus Rashford's in a good place right now. Like, it's good to see. It's very, very good to see.
And he's looking like a special player. I mean, he's always had something special about him, Marcus. But now he's starting to puff his chest out, push his shoulders back. He's got that little Eric Cantona flavour in his game right now. He can't score every game. So look, I'm not expecting him to score again tomorrow. I'm expecting a good performance. I'm expecting a lot of attention from Man City players to Marcus Rashford, and I potentially see opportunities arising in the game as a result of that. I think this could be a game where Manchester City can get surprised and shocked. They're going into it seemingly in pretty bad shape. But you'll be a mug to write off City or to assume that just because they lost against Southampton in the League Cup, that means they're guaranteed to drop points against Manchester United. That's not the case at all. However, I do think that there are patterns of play that, or especially the Southampton press, which is something that I'm most happy. One of the things I'm happiest about Man United is the way we've been able to press this season, and I love to see us try and replicate what Southampton was successful at against Manchester City. I think we've got the players to do it. We've finally got a defensive midfielder who, all right, cool. If the ball breaks if they break the lines of a pass through the midfield, we've got someone there who can clean up. Man United are in resurgent form. City, not so much. However, it's a derby, so as you know, form goes right out the window. In terms of danger men for City, I mean, we all know who the biggest threat is on their team, and it's Erling Haaland. Already scored 3 goals against us in the reverse fixture. Can Erling do it again? I mean, will Erling start? I'm starting to wonder whether Erling might get dropped. We might see a Julian Alvarez, or we might see a Phil Foden false 9. Reason I'm saying that is I'm trying to work out what Pep's ridiculous plan could be. You've heard it from a lot of City fans. You've heard it from a lot of pundits that potentially this Erling Haaland signing might not have actually improved City as a team. Of course, you've got the goals and you've got the output from Erling Haaland, but are they better as a team? And can Man United play into that and really put the cat amongst the pigeons? Because if we get a win, if we get a win against City on the weekend, it's more than just a win. It feels symbolic. If it would feel like a real paradigm shift moment, we're now a different team. We're not the same club as last season. We're not the same team, despite having the same similar players. We are no longer the same team, and we will not bend down. That's not what Man United do. That's not what Man United do now. It's not what Ten Hag is about, and you can see that derby match, that derby loss really hurt him. Let's see if United can redeem themselves and really apply pressure to Man City. Because if we come flying out, get the fans on our side, I've got a good feeling about this, and I think we've got to get the fans on our side. We've got to start well, and we've got to put them under pressure. Because if we can go 1 up, 2 up, and City, their confidence doesn't look as high as it usually does. I think we could rattle them. I'm not going to say it's going to finish 6-3, but I think we could come out of this game looking pretty good. in pretty good form. We could come out of this game only 1 point behind City, which is at the start of the season I would have bitten your hand off for that. I mean, would have been bitten your whole bloody top half, your whole torso. So where can United win this game? I think we win this game out wide. I think City have struggled with their fullbacks, their wing-backs. I think Joao Cancelo is quality. I really like him, but is he good enough as a defender? Look, I love Joao Cancelo, but can Man United expose him? And same with Kyle Walker. Can we pin those guys back? I mean, they're going to want to. They love going forwards. The Man City fullbacks, we know that. With Garnacho, potentially Rashford, Martial's fit. Anthony out wide as well. Got some really. I think our wide positions are now looking like potentially like our strongest. I'd love to see Garnacho get a start. Martial and Anthony haven't been pictured this week in training, so it's not a good sign. First and foremost, so I'm expecting Martial to be on the bench, Rashford up front, Garnacho on the left. And do you know what? It could be Bruno. Bruno could get shifted out onto the wing. If we're gonna play Bruno not in the midfield, I'd probably like to see us go for a diamond and have Casemiro at the base, Fred, Eriksen and Bruno. When we're in possession and when we're out, I probably want to see Bruno out on the right wing or on the left wing, depending on where we put. But look, I want Rashford on Cancelo, whatever flank he's on, whatever wing he's on. I want Rashford switching. I want him on Cancelo's side. Let's just get that straight. And I think Garnacho, his pace is deceptive. He doesn't look like he's moving that fast, but he eats up the yards on defenders. But yeah, look, I think we win the game out wide. I think City win the game in the midfield. If Casemiro has a better game than De Bruyne, I think we win the game. I think if we win the midfield battle, key battle for us to win, I think we win the game. And if we start Rashford, two of Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony, I think we win the game. In terms of predictions for the match, I'm going with 2-1. I think it's going to be a Bruno pen, Rashford, and then I think Gundogan will get a goal for City. I don't think Haaland scores. I think there might be a surprise around Haaland. You know, I'm not that certain he's going to start, and I mean he's in my fantasy team, so you probably. I think Pep's got something up his sleeve, and I think he's going to overthink it. I think it's going to be a remake of the Champions League final against Chelsea. I think he's going to overthink it again, and Erik ten Hag, Pep Guardiola are going to sort of rekindle their rivalry, rekindle that old relationship they had as well when Ten Hag was the under-21s manager at Bayern Munich. Look, I think Pep Guardiola rates Ten Hag, and he wanted him to be a potential City manager after he left. So I think it says it all about Ten Hag's pedigree and his ability as a coach and as a manager, and he's clearly left a really good impression on Pep Guardiola. I think Ten Hag potentially is the manager that could set out a team to defeat, to counteract all the City's. I mean, has he got a plan for the inverted fullbacks?
But I think we could do them. I really think we can do them, and I'm expecting us to as well. I'm expecting a proper performance as well from these from this team. I'm expecting we need Casemiro to really have a good game, because Man City can win this game in the midfield. They have in previous matches. If Casemiro wins that midfield battle, whoever it's up against, if it's De Bruyne, whoever has the better game out of those two players, I think wins the game, wins the match, and collects the 3 points. Let's not pretend that we're just here to see a good performance or an improvement on the 6-3 loss. We need a result here, because we need to stamp our authority on the top four, and a win or a point at least against Manchester City does that. I think if we win, we're 1 point behind Manchester City, and especially after the start to the season we had, no one saw that coming. So we're in good stead. Let's just say that we're in good stead. In terms of tactics and areas where I could see Man United having a bit of success, I don't think. I've got a feeling Anthony Martial's not going to start. I'm not sure if Wout Weghorst is going to be fit to play. I'm sure. I mean, he's been in good shape. He's been at the World Cup. He's been playing for Besiktas. He scored the other day as well for them. So I think he could be fit enough to definitely contribute. But whether he's going to be able to replace Martial in the starting lineup, we'll find out whether he's fit enough, I guess. But I'm looking forward to seeing Wout play. Hopefully, he can get some time and maybe have a decisive action in that game in the derby. So we shall see. But Anthony Martial seems to be injured. But I think that probably, if that is the case, I think we're more likely to see Marcus Rashford start up front. I think I would love to see Alejandro Garnacho start on the left if that is the case. I think he played really well against Charlton. He looked head and shoulders above that level. And I think Manchester City's defence, especially their fullbacks, have looked a bit weak. So who knows? Maybe we get a double talent. Maybe we can see Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho intertwining well on that left hand side. You've got Kyle Walker, who's probably going to start for Man City, who could nullify them. But I think having both those players around that left flank could cause some real problems for Manchester City. On the right hand side, I'm kind of foreseeing Bruno Fernandes right wing masterclass. I mean, I hope it's a masterclass, but I got a feeling we're going to see Bruno Fernandes potentially pushed out wide. We might try and go for a little diamond in midfield of Casemiro, Eriksen, and Fred. I could see with potentially Bruno in front of those guys, and then when we're out of possession, going into a bit more of a right wing position. But I think that's where we'll see some variation. I think it'll be around if Anthony Martial starts, I could see us playing Martial, Rashford, and Anthony. But if Martial doesn't start, I could see Bruno coming on either on the left-hand side instead of Garnacho or on the right-hand side instead of Anthony. I'd like to see us go for this game and seeing as we're at home. And I think with having players like, especially Anthony on that right side is very good at pressing, and having Garnacho as well with his pace, I think we can really pin City back, and with Casemiro in the midfield cleaning up all the second balls, hopefully. That should be where we can stamp some authority onto the midfield. They're probably going to play Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne. And for me, I think if we throw another man into that midfield, whether it's Fred or McTominay, I'd love to see Fred because I think he need that energy. McTominay managed the kid, but I don't think this is his game. I'd like to see Fred start. Fred, Casemiro, and Eriksen, with Bruno just in front. I'd like to see that. With Man City, we heard Pep coming out saying that he's got a ridiculous plan for United. And you got Pep sending out Gundogan trying to do up mind games before the Manchester derby. What do I foresee that plan? Potentially that plan means maybe benching Erling Haaland. I know the fantasy football teams won't want to hear that, but I could potentially see Pep benching Haaland and going for maybe like a Julian Alvarez or maybe a Phil Foden up front, playing false nine. But Man City are coming into this game and some good coming into this derby with recent performances on their side, and against United we've not really we've been humbled a couple of times by City. So in recent seasons, so I'm looking for some dignity and pride to return to Man United fans, just because we can't keep getting slapped. I mean, that was 6-3 I can't remember what month it was now, but 6-3 at the start of the season, and that could have been 10. It could easily 10, 11. If the scoreline flattered us big time. So I'm hoping for a Man United win. I'm going to go for 2. I think it could be a 2-1, similar to that last game before COVID, and Scott McTominay scored when we had Agallo back in the team. So I think it'll be 2-1 United. I think Rashford goal. Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna go for a Bruno Fernandes double, and a Gundogan a Gundogan finish. I'd say a Bruno Fernandes pen, at least one pen for Bruno, and a Gundogan tap in back post to Bruyne assist. Those are my predictions. 2-1 United. United go to 1 point of the champions. We leapfrog Newcastle into third, and that's how I see the game planning out. Erik ten Hag, he knows how Pep wants to play. He managed under him at Bayern with the under-23s, and it's clear that there's a lot of mutual respect there. It's clear that Pep highly rates Erik ten Hag, and quite right. He's already shown in a short amount of time how good he is as a manager, and obviously the reasons why Pep even wanted him within his coaching structure. So Erik ten Hag is his chance to finally lay a glove on Pep Guardiola. It'll be at Old Trafford, 76,000 United fans. Be up for it. It's the derby, the early kickoff. Get the weekend off to a good start. And I've got a weirdly positive feeling about this. And I don't want to be kicking myself about it later, being like, what were you thinking? But I'm going into this game weirdly confident. I don't know if that's naivety, if I'm setting myself up for a fall, but I think we've got City, you know. Thank you so much for joining us for this one, guys. I know it's been short and sweet, and I expect a reaction this weekend as well. Man United versus Manchester City. Man United can go to 1 point of the champions with a win, but that will be no easy feat, as we know. So people, make sure you're slapping the like button. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with any new content. But that is all for now. Thank you for joining me. It's been wonderful. It's been your boy Moses. It's Jamie Vardy's favourite fucking show, and we're out.
Wait for the noise. It's coming. Eric, it is coming.